finding purpose in their pain. First at 10, the family of a fallen Jonesboro police recruit is demanding accountability 7 months after he died on his first day at the academy.
Vinny wanted to be a police officer because he wanted to find a career that would help not only better his family, but also give back to the community. And he settled on being a police officer after thinking about it for many years. He had always wanted to do it.
A recently filed lawsuit by the family of Vincent Parks blames the academy and its instructors for his death. Actions they believe are supported by videos we recently obtained. The lawsuit claims the death of Vinny Parks was an act of negligence. Good evening. Thanks for being here. I'm Chris Carter. Parks' family wants the loss they experienced to never happen to anyone ever again. It is why his wife is fighting for justice in the death of a recruit. Tonight, she shares her mission and how she hopes to prevent another tragedy at training in this special Region 8 News investigation. Vincent Parks, Vinny as he was known, was a man those who knew him wanted to be around.
He had the biggest smile. He was the greatest husband, father, son anybody could ask for.
Christina Parks remembered her husband as she shared her story with me. She described him as a father, a son, a man who dedicated his life to public service. At 38 years old, the Jonesboro native made a career change, joining the Jonesboro Police Department as a patrol officer.
There was no hesitation. He jumped in with both feet and was ready to do it.
He was hired in June of 2022. He would serve for just 1 month. Parks' tour of duty ended on Sunday, July 17th, 2022.
Do not lock your knees. Keep them bent, or you will pass out and faceplant the asphalt.
He died during his first day at the Central Arkansas Law Enforcement Academy at Camp Robinson in North Little Rock.
He just loved his family and loved everything that he did. And he looked forward to being a police officer with Jonesboro Police Department. And unfortunately, that was taken from him.
Don't want to be last.
In videos provided by the Parks family attorney, Jim Jackson of North Little Rock, they claim the academy and its instructors subjected Officer Parks and his fellow officers to physical hazing beginning immediately upon arrival at the training academy. Described in the lawsuit filed by the family as the #1 recruit in his Jonesboro Police Department class, Attorney Jackson provided us this video from July 17th. In it, he said you can see Officer Parks showing signs of heat illness and heat stroke, pointing out the veins enlarged on his forehead. Parks' widow was shocked when she saw the videos.
I think that I see my husband struggling, and I can clearly see it, and everybody who watches it can clearly see it. And how could they not see it as actual medical staff, people that are supposed to take care of your significant other when they come to train at a facility like this?
In the 61-page lawsuit, Jackson and Parks' widow accused the academy and training academy supervisor Joe DuBois of lies and cover-ups in Officer Parks' death. According to the lawsuit, the academy downplayed the seriousness of Parks' death. His wife described what she was told when she was called.
We needed to come pick him up and that we would bring him home and reevaluate the situation and try to bring him back maybe in a week. And when we got there, he was dead.
So you were fully prepared to bring him back home?
Correct.
In initial statements to the media, the Arkansas Department of Public Safety, which oversees the academy, said Parks began showing signs of medical distress before an initial exercise regimen began. That information was immediately questioned by lawmakers and Jonesboro Police Chief Rick Elliott. An investigation was launched by Arkansas State Police after it learned new facts contrary to the initial statements by the Department of Public Safety.
I think that he's going to be in safe hands. I think that I'm sending my husband, my child's father, to this academy, that they're going to make him the best police officer that he can be so he can come back and serve his community. And the negligence there took his life. When I got down there, he had already passed. So within maybe 45 minutes of being in the hands of these instructors, he was killed.
The lawsuit claims the academy and its instructors provided wrong information to, quote, cover up the horrible conditions that Officer Parks and the other new officers were put through by Central Elita's instructors, which directly caused Officer Parks' death, end quote. The state police investigation was eventually turned over to the Pulaski County prosecutor, who declined to file charges, but did point out a culture of hazing at the North Little Rock Training Academy.
They just failed all of them on every level, and it's a wonder that nobody else got hurt that day.
The videos provided by the Parks family attorney were shot by former participants, according to the lawsuit, saying the former recruits were recording the activities with their cell phones to, quote, video Joe Du Bois leading the new officers through senseless hazing activities, end quote. Also listed in the suit is instructor Amanda Cheney. It says Cheney told Officer Parks and other recruits they would not be allowed to complete training if, quote, any officers made an injury report for a medical issue, end quote. It also claims recruits were told to, quote, suffer in silence, end quote. In one of the videos provided by the Parks family attorney, you can see EMTs and others gathered around Officer Parks after he fell to the ground suffering a medical condition. In the background, you can hear instructors yelling at other recruits as they continue to engage in physical activities. Do you hold the instructors and the academy fully responsible for Vinny's death?
Sure, absolutely. The lack of medical care that he received, just the delay of everything, nobody taking it seriously, from the top to the bottom, you know, all the way from the directors down to the EMS staff. There was a failure on every level to intervene.
The death of Officer Parks has prompted a push for change. Arkansas lawmakers introduced legislation to prevent a training tragedy from happening again. The Vincent Parks law would require training to recognize health conditions at academies and lays out how a medical condition should be dealt with. It is a start for Christina Parks.
I don't ever want anybody to experience this or anybody's child to experience what we've experienced. So there definitely needs to be some policies in place, and that's why we have pushed for the policies to be changed and so that people can be held accountable.
So that Officer Vincent Parks' legacy as a police officer is more than one focused on his death.
You don't think about burying your spouse at 36 years old. You don't think that you're going to send your spouse to a place that he's supposed to be taken care of and they failed him.
But instead, a legacy of community and heroism.
I just want the people that are responsible for this to be held accountable and for changes to be made. This does not need to happen again.
The Arkansas Department of Public Safety declined to comment for this story. 4 other recruits from the Jonesboro Police Department were at the academy in North Little Rock. They were pulled after Parks' death. It was the first time JPD had ever sent new officers to that facility. An autopsy report found Parks died from a sickle cell crisis along with heart disease and obesity. His family disputes that and said he was cleared by a doctor. They are seeking $5 million in damage. You can read the entire lawsuit and see the videos provided to us in their entirety right now on the Region 8 News app.